All right, we'll begin with Georgia. We'll ask Coach Smart to make an opening comment, and then we will take questions for both Coach. We've got Jake Fromm and J.R. Reed with us as well. Coach?
Yeah, I want to thank the SEC and really our fan base. I always start that way because what an incredible atmosphere. I always say that about this venue. It's awesome to play in. The crowd is incredible. I thought it was more Georgia, at least for the first half, than it was LSU, and they were impactful. Unfortunately, we just couldn't make enough plays tonight. I give LSU a ton of credit. That is a really good football team, and we knew that coming in. We were going to have to play well. We were going to have to make some explosive plays. We were unable to do that. I am very proud of the way our players compete, and I am very proud of the leaders on this team who have continued to compete. That's not what we thought was going to happen, and certainly disappointed, but it doesn't take away the fact we've been here 3 straight years, and I'm really proud of this senior class who've led us to a lot of victories.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, raise your hand. Mariana and Kelly have the microphones, and we'd ask you to give your name and affiliation before your question. Question for Coach or the players? Okay, we'll go up here in the front. Kelly, right here on the end.
Jeff Schultz of The Athletic. Kirby, notwithstanding the player losses and injuries that you had this year, what is this game, and it was sort of a microcosm of the season, what does it tell you in terms of offensive philosophy and whether you have to go in a different direction after this season?
Be honest with you, I thought that we didn't come out with a mentality of running the ball down your throat today. If you thought that we tried to do that, that probably wasn't a good view on the game. We thought we had to score points to win the game, and you have an offense that's built around the players you have. So you take the players you have and you use their strengths. Well, with the players we have certain strengths. We usually have good pass protection. We have a good offensive line. We've got good backs. But our ability to run the ball has not been consistent this year. And people can say, well, Coach Smart wants to play man ball. Coach Smart wants to win. And we threw the ball 42 times. Now, you can say it was because we were behind, but we threw the ball early in the game. And we had some drops. We had some misses. And it's not a matter of what is your offensive philosophy. It is what is the best way to win the game. And I honestly think, Jeff, that's what we're trying to do,
Okay, other questions? If you have a question, please raise your hand. Go back over here on the right.
Hey, I'm George Henry with the Associated Press. Jake, what was it like being? You talked about this going into the game, having injured receivers, but you lost another one. You're down. You got 3 of your first top 5 guys out. What was that situation like for you in the first half?
Yeah, it's kind of tough on us, but for us, it's next man up mentality. And I think the guys were ready. They understood the plan, and it's just an opportunity for them to go out and make a couple plays.
I'd also like to note there was 2 that went down because we lost Don Blaylock and Kieris Jackson for the entire game, which I don't make excuses. We got to go make plays, but those were 2 of the 5 we had left.
Other questions for Coach and players? Go back up here to the front row.
Jake, I just want to be sure because it seemed like nothing really this season offensively was ever fully in sync. You've talked about that after games before the season. Were you fully healthy this season? I know you don't want to use anything as an excuse, but I was just curious.
Yeah, I was fully healthy. I went in every single week 100% and ready to go and help my team any way I could.
Okay, back over here on the second row and then you're out.
JR, just going against Joe Burrow, what he was able to do, from your vantage point, what made him be able to be so successful today against you guys?
He's just a great athlete, man. We had a lot of plays out there that we were supposed to make, and he just squirms out of it, gets out of it, and makes plays for his team. He did a good job. We had a lot of guys on him. He broke like 3-4 tackles, and he extends a lot of plays.
Okay, other questions? Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Go back over here on the right.
Jake, what was that like having the pass drop on Lander's play? And I'm not asking you to point a finger out at him, but just the kind of the deflation that happened after that. Did you kind of feel like that was the last gasp situation for you guys?
No, for us, it's always about fighting, and stuff happens in football. That's part of the game. There's a lot of ups and downs, especially, big games like this. There's a lot of ups and downs in it, and you just kind of have to weather the storm at times and, go and try to make the next play.
Okay, we'll go back over here to the right on the aisle.
This is for Coach Smart, Gary McKillop's AP Radio. You were pretty much in this ball game going into that third quarter. Was that 70-yard pass that that was thrown? Was that the kind of the backbreaker in this game?
Yeah, there were several. That one was frustrating because we thought we had a really good call on. We had pressure, and we had a guy come sky free. He missed him, and then I think we missed him again maybe on that same play. And, hey, I thought that was the perfect call by our defense coordinator, and they made a better play than we did a call. And sometimes players do that. And you learn in coaching that good players make big-time plays, and that was an incredible play by Joe Burrow. We brought 6 people. When you bring 6 people, you expect to get home. And he made a hell of a play. I give Joe Burrow a lot of credit, man. He is a phenomenal player.
Okay, back over on the right.
Kirby, just so I understand, but it looked like early in the game you guys were only bringing 2 or 3. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but just the defensive philosophy early in the game, it looked like Burrow had just tons of time out there.
Yeah, we had a 3-man, a 4-man, a 5-man, and a 6-man rush, and we try to change those things up. You do a lot of studies going into the game of ways to get incompletions because you're basically fighting for incompletions on them, and we got pressure at time. We didn't finish. When we had the 3-man rush, a lot of times he was able to hold the ball, but we had a lot of guys covered, and you're fighting. We got him to 3rd and long on that opening drive and didn't get off the field, and they end up converting to a touchdown. So I give him a lot of credit. But, yeah, we did. We 3-man, 4-man, 5-man rush. We played 7 DBs. We had a lot of different looks.
Okay, we'll go back over here on the right. Do you have one? All right, over here on the near aisle.
Kirby, what was DeAndre Swift's real status at the start of the game?
DeAndre Swift's real status was he practiced all week. He did everything we asked him to do. He said he was going to be able to play and thought he'd be able to compete and play. He felt good in warm-ups, and he played. I mean, there was no – I mean, as far as I know, he was fine. Now, towards the end of the game, we ended up holding him out once the outcome was decided. But he seemed fine to me.
Okay, we'll go here on the second row, right in front.
JR, just to kind of go back to what you were saying, I think for that second touchdown, it was 3-man rush. I think Joe had like 8.5 seconds before he threw that touchdown pass. I mean, how tough is it to cover guys for that long before that?
It's a very tough thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's our job to cover in the back end. So we gotta cover those guys. We gotta get the ball down. It's something we practice. We knew what the game plan was going in, and we just gotta do that job.
We'll go 3/4 of the way back on the right.
Kirby, what's the biggest thing about LSU's offense that just kind of took the SEC by storm this year? Is it the quarterback, the play calling, the running back, combination of all of it? What can you put your finger on?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, I've been in this league for a long time, and I don't know that I've seen the combination of things they've got. Okay, they've got an elite quarterback that's a really good athlete. All right, they have a back that is a matchup guy. He can match up on anybody and go win. They've got really good wideouts, and they've got experience at the offensive line. So they go tempo, but they don't go tempo to just run the ball. They go tempo and take shots. They never change personnel. They play 28 consecutive snaps with the same people on the field. So it does not allow you to substitute in the pattern that you want to. So there's a combination of a lot of things, and it is scheme-oriented, but it's a lot more than scheme. I mean, they have plays that they've run all year that we've run all year. Our plays haven't looked like their plays because a lot of times we may not have the same guys doing those plays. And they got a great group of wideouts combined with an extremely athletic quarterback, and it's hit at the right time. So I got a lot of respect for what they're doing and who they're doing it with. They're hard to defend.
Got one final question here with Andy in the front row.
Going to that answer in the offensive velocity one. So Joe Burrow's numbers last year were pretty much identical to what Jake's were this year, and Jake's were better the first 2 years. So he didn't become a different person, but clearly something changed. Do you feel like you're getting the most out of the talent you have, or do you think it's a recruiting issue that you need? Like they have, you said they have the same guys, but they're doing all this stuff.
Yeah. First off, I would say what you just said. You said the first 2 years Jake's numbers were better. Right. All right. So the indicator of that was 4 wide receivers who were on our sideline that were drafted that are playing in the NFL. Okay. So right now, I don't know if we have 4 wide receivers that are going to be playing in the NFL at this time next year. And the loss of those wideouts, the vertical threat, has probably hurt our team. Now, that's my responsibility, right, to replace them. That's my responsibility to replace them in recruiting, and we probably haven't done a good enough job of that. Now, we had 2 or 3 out different games of the year. So we've not had a consistent group out there. We went out and got a grad school transfer that we thought would help. So a lot of those things fall on it. People can point at Jake. They can point at Coley. They can point at me. I understand all that. But at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about what can we do to win each game individually. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of plays that they run that we run. You go watch the tape closely. They run the exact same play we do. What's the difference? Right now, they're having more success with it. They got guys that are getting open one-on-one and catching the ball. I don't know how many drops we had tonight, but I feel like we had to have had 5 or 6 that you could say should have probably been caught. And we would have been more explosive if that was the case. And I don't mean that in disrespect. When we had really good wideouts, we were more explosive. And right now, I don't know that we have that. One's on the bench at halftime. I mean, first half. One is on a wheelchair over there, and then 2 or 3 are in the NFL that came out early. I mean, that's just tough.
All right, Coach, Jake, JR, thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.